My name is Talia Vaughan. I'm a junior here at Hamilton College, and I'm a religious studies major. I first got into DHI my freshman spring with my professor, Abhishek Amar. He pulled me in because he wanted me to work on his project, Sacred Centers in South Asia. So I worked a little bit with him, and then over the summer, he went away on sabbatical. So I came in and did some odd jobs around DHI with Janet and Angel. And last year I helped out at ILiADS as well for the first year and just saw how things went and the organization of it and everything. And then this past year I worked mainly with Angel on his South Africa project. And I'm the third class fellow this year, this summer, where I am working more extensively on Angel's project for the summer.
Great. Could you say a little bit about that project and about the class program?
Sure. So the class program is a 14 or 15? 15. The class project is a 15-month commitment where students work for their first summer with a professor here on campus on their project. And then for the next year, they continue working on their own research project, somehow related to their professor's project. And then the next summer, they spend off campus at another internship opportunity at a different place.
And what's the project that you're working on?
Right now, I'm working on Dr. Nieves' Soweto project. So what we're working on right now is we have a bunch of artifacts from Soweto, South Africa, where Nelson Mandela lived with his family before he was incarcerated. So we're planning on making a database of artifacts and trying to construct narratives around them to tell the story of Black South Africa during apartheid, and trying to flesh out the story that isn't quite heard from all the time.
Excellent. And so you've worked at the previous ILiADS and at this ILiADS.
Yeah.
What has your general experience been? Have the two conferences helped you, think about your project in a different way? Have they, I know that you're not like on a project team this semester, or this summer rather, but has the material been useful?
So last summer and this summer both, I've been working more behind the scenes rather than on a team myself. But in some ways I feel that has been more useful to me in some ways because I've been able to go to everything and able to get little snippets from everyone about what they're doing and how things are coming along. What I enjoy the most about ILiADS is just getting to have so many conversations about people at other institutions and what people do and how this all fits together as one larger consortium of people. I think, as for, I don't really know what else to say. I don't do much at ILiADS.
Have you had new ideas of things you might want to talk about in the project with Angel? Areas where you see like, oh, I didn't think about that, but we really should look out for X, Y, Z.
Yeah. I think I'm definitely realizing that Angel is Mr. Scope Creep himself because we've started a lot of projects over this past year, and at times I'm just like, I don't even know what I'm working on right now. But I think it makes everything fun because I get to learn so many things. I've done mapping projects of mining hostels using Google Earth. I've done a timeline project using Timeline.js. It's of the Nelson Mandela family home, the history of it. And right now we're, Angel, Greg Lord, and I are working on building a Olmeca WordPress site to house the narratives and database of the artifacts that we have and on a website. So I've been able to do so many different things, which I'm definitely grateful for. And ILiADS has shown me that there are so many different ways to do the same project, which I think makes things just so much more interesting, because I really like computer things, and being able to see that there's 1,000,001 ways to do the same thing is definitely pretty interesting.
Do you think DH is going to be applicable elsewhere in your academics or in your personal career? You mentioned that you're interested in computer things.
Computer things.
Do you think that you're going to pursue DH, further at Hamilton? I guess what's the value of DH to you?
To me, I would love to be able to incorporate DH into other classes here at Hamilton, because I think that just being able to use that as a learning tool rather than the standard paper and pass it into a professor thing is definitely more exciting. It's a lot more work, but you get more out of it, I think. As for in future careers and stuff like that, I don't think I'm planning on going to grad school or anything. So I think as for computer things, I want to try to get into some sort of development sort of company, maybe video game development. I'm not really sure at the moment, but I think that the experience with constructing narratives and constructing different ways of going at the same issue would be helpful in pursuing that sort of career choice.
Do you think DH at Hamilton needs improvement in areas? Are there places where, has ILiADS given you ideas of how our model could be better, or ideas of how undergrads could contribute more?
I'm not sure if this will answer your question, but one conversation that we had as a group this year at ILiADS was talking about course construction and how professors would be able to incorporate DH into their curriculum. And I think that one person brought up the idea that paying a student a small stipend to do work alongside their class. I think that's pretty worthwhile, because DH does take so much time and so much energy for someone to do alongside all of their classwork. As for an organization of a class, I would think that knowing thinking about what sort of project you would want, a professor would want students to complete would be a great way to organize the first levels of a class. But I think that professors would also have to think about flexibility of the course, seeing as though every worker would be different, and some people, like myself, don't particularly like working on a team and would rather just check in every once in a while, and is more of a procrastination type, for example. So I think getting to know each class as getting to know each team for ILiADS is would make a class run smoothly, and would make students hopefully get some sort of experience out of it if they don't end up completing a project throughout a semester, for example.